There is a place in Europe where tradition and modernity go hand in hand. It's a destination where you can stroll through historic palaces that look like they've come straight out of a fairy tale, run into princesses on every corner, and at the same time experience a vibrant, stylish urban life. And the best part? The standard of living there is so high that even those just passing through end up falling in love. And I'm not just talking about the place itself, if you know what I mean. A country in the heart of Europe, where the quality of life is so high you can hardly believe it's real. Want to find out more about this amazing place? Then come with me, because there's a lot of interesting stuff for us to explore together. Austria. You've probably heard of it, especially because of its capital, Vienna. And honestly, it's not uncommon to see people mixing up the country's name with Australia. But hold on, we're talking about Austria here, this European gem full of charm. Austria is one of those countries that impresses you at first sight, even though it doesn't have a coastline. What it does have, though, are borders with other fascinating countries. The Czech Republic to the north, Slovakia and Hungary to the east, Slovenia and Italy to the south, and of course, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Germany to the west. It's basically an open invitation for you to explore several amazing destinations all at once, without much hassle, thanks to the Schengen Agreement, which makes it easier for anyone wanting to cross these borders. Vienna, the cherry on top of the Austrian cake. The city is split by the Danube River, which divides it into two parts. The western part is where the magic happens. That's where you'll find the international airport and a whole range of tourist attractions that will leave anyone in awe. It's as if the west side is the cultural, historical, and social heart of Vienna. It's got everything: palaces, bustling markets, and a vibe that blends the old with the new in a unique way. Vienna isn't a huge city, but that just adds to its charm. With about 2 million residents, it's home to nearly a quarter of Austria's total population, which is 9 million people. And what Vienna definitely doesn't lack is space to enjoy yourself. Even though it only has a few big cities, like Graz and Salzburg, Austria makes great use of its land. A large part of the country is taken up by the Alps, which only adds more beauty to the scenery. And if you're a soccer fan, Austria has teams that are true icons, like Austria Wien, Rapid Wien, Sturm Graz, and Salzburg. These clubs represent the country with a lot of pride. But what really puts Vienna at the top of the list is the fact that it's one of the most livable cities in the world. In 2024, it was ranked number 1 by several research companies, and that's no small feat. The quality of life there is so high that the city is almost always at the top of these rankings, competing with places like Zurich. Austria is a country that carries with it one of the oldest and most fascinating histories in Europe. The name Austria first appeared in 996, and a lot has happened since then. One of the most remarkable periods was the rise of the Habsburg dynasty, which put Austria on the map as one of the largest and most influential states of the 15th century. This dynasty made history and for centuries kept Austria in the spotlight, fighting epic battles such as the struggles against the Ottoman Empire. But all good things come to an end, and with the First World War, the era of the Habsburgs and the empires came to a close. Austria reinvented itself, leaving its imperial past behind and emerging as a prosperous and democratic republic. And look, they don't mess around when it comes to getting things done. Today, Austria is one of the richest countries in the world. According to Forbes, in 2024, the country ranked 14th on the list of the world's wealthiest nations. Just so you have an idea, the per capita income there is about $59,000 a year. That's no small feat. Austria is also the birthplace of some brands that everyone knows. Ever heard of Red Bull? That's right. The famous energy drink was born there. And that's not all. The Spar supermarket and Swarovski jewelry are also Austrian brands that have taken over the world. But if you're thinking about doing some shopping there, you'd better plan ahead. In Austria, especially in Vienna, the big supermarkets close on Saturdays and Sundays. So, if you're passing through on the weekend, make sure to buy everything you need beforehand. Women in Vienna, and in Austria in general, have a strong presence and features that reflect the country's cultural and historical mix. Most of them are blonde or red-haired, with fair skin and blue or green eyes. These features give Austrian women a look that's often compared to Germans or Swedes, with a hint of seriousness in their expression. The average height of Austrian women is around 1.66 m, and they tend to have a subtle beauty, with generally delicate facial features. Despite this description, they carry a natural elegance that fits perfectly with Vienna's classic and sophisticated atmosphere. The official language in Austria is German, but it's not just any German, no. There, people also speak Bavarian German and, depending on the region, you'll hear Slovenian and Hungarian. Austria is a true cultural mix, with 82% of the population being Austrian and adopting German as their main language. And of course, when you walk through the streets, all the signs and notices will be in German, reflecting the strong presence of the language. And if you think Austria is just about history and culture, you should know that religion also plays an important role there. Austrians have always been strong defenders of Christianity, especially Catholicism. Today, 55% of the population identifies as Christian and Catholic. Another 5% are Protestant, while 25% have no religion. And of course, religious diversity is present, with Muslims, Jews, and other religious groups also making up part of the country's cultural mosaic. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. How come you've made it this far and still haven't shared this video? Share it with your friend who loves blondes. Give us that boost, come on. And there's more. Whoever comments and gets the most likes will win a nice whip from this old guy right here. Don't miss out on this, okay? I'm counting on you. When you think of Vienna, besides all the history and cultural richness, one thing that really stands out is how much Austrians care about the environment. Walking through the city streets, you'll notice a series of colorful trash bins, each with a specific purpose. Glass bottles go into the green containers, while paper and plastic each have their own yellow bins. This commitment to recycling is just one example of how Vienna is dedicated to keeping its streets spotless. And that makes all the difference. It's no wonder the city is considered one of the cleanest in the world. But Vienna isn't just about cleanliness. The architecture there is absolutely breathtaking. You'll find buildings that look like they've come straight out of a fairy tale, all meticulously preserved. Many of them are old structures, painted in shades of white that give off a timeless charm. It's as if every building has a story to tell, and they really do. One of the most impressive is the Austrian Parliament building. Built by a Danish architect between 1873 and 1883, this building is a true icon of the city, considered one of the most beautiful in the world. And even after being damaged during World War II, it was restored with such care that today it remains a must-see attraction. The Austrian flag. It's one of the oldest still in use. Did you know that? They say its origin dates back to the 12th century. Legend has it that the red stripes represent the blood that covered the coat of an Austrian duke during a siege, and the white band in the middle symbolizes the part that stayed clean. That's quite a story for a simple flag, isn't it? Vienna is also a city where safety is taken seriously. At any time of day or night, you'll see police patrols on the streets, making sure everything runs smoothly. But don't think that this creates a tense atmosphere. On the contrary, the police presence is discreet, allowing both locals and tourists to enjoy the city in peace. Besides that, Vienna offers a range of really interesting automated services. There are scales scattered at bus stops so you can check your weight, and even solar-powered chilled drinking water stations where you can fill your bottle with cold water for free. This might seem simple, but it makes a huge difference, especially in a city where everything tends to be more expensive. And speaking of transportation, Vienna is a model of organization. The subway system, known as the U-Bahn, is super efficient and easy to use. If you want to leave the airport and get to the city center quickly, the City Airport Train, or CAT, makes the trip in just 16 minutes. Of course, it's a bit more expensive, but it's worth it for the speed and comfort. But if you want to save money, there's the S-Bahn, a more affordable option that also gets you where you need to go. Now, when it comes to fast food, Vienna has a strong Turkish influence. Did you know that about 500,000 Turks live in the city? They pretty much dominate the restaurant and snack bar market, especially with their delicious doner kebabs. These dishes have become so popular that it's impossible to walk around Vienna without coming across a Turkish shop selling these delicacies. And the best part is that they're affordable and tasty options, perfect for anyone exploring the city. When you arrive in Vienna, it's impossible not to be impressed by the Hofburg Palace. This place is pure history. Just imagine, it was the winter residence of the famous Habsburg dynasty who ruled for centuries. Inside the palace, you'll find relics that belong to kings and queens, including Marie Antoinette, the very same one who became famous for saying, "If they have no bread, let them eat cake." The palace is over 600 years old and still stands there, imposing, as a living symbol of Austria's grandeur. Now, talking about modern life in Vienna, one thing that really stands out is the cars. Most of the vehicles you'll see around there are German brands, and we're not talking about just any cars. They're the kind that really catch your eye, super luxurious. It's hard to find an old or outdated car. That already gives you an idea of how high the standard of living is in Austria. With such a high per capita income, it's no wonder Austrians like to show off new and sophisticated cars. But look, living in Vienna isn't cheap. Rents in the city are pretty steep. A one-bedroom apartment costs around 1,500 euros a month. And if you want more space, like a two-bedroom, the price goes up to over 2,000 euros. So, to live comfortably there, it's best to have a pretty generous salary. But if you're just visiting, you have to try the Austrian schnitzel. It's a traditional dish that you can find in almost every restaurant, and it's simply delicious, served with lemon and a good potato salad. And you know what? Austria has a pretty relaxed approach when it comes to alcohol. This means that, culturally, drinking is something that's part of everyday life for Austrians and is socially accepted in many situations. This drinking culture is something you'll easily notice when visiting the country, as Austrians usually enjoy their drinks in a relaxed and friendly atmosphere, whether it's during a chat with friends or at dinner, even more so than in many other European countries. It's part of the local culture and something you'll notice in Vienna's bars and restaurants. And if the hustle and bustle of the city starts to wear you out, you can take a break by heading to the Danube River. There, you can relax on one of the boats or simply sit by the riverbank to enjoy the view and recharge your energy. But tell me, what did you like most about this country? Just don't say it was the women, okay? And if you're a loyal subscriber to the channel, comment Austria down below. And before you go, check out the video that's popping up on your screen right now. There's more amazing content waiting for you. Thanks, everyone, and see you next time.